Good afternoon. Florida, let's have a conversation because I'm running for governor of Florida, but all Americans are welcome to weigh in on this. What is convincing us that lowering the standards under the guise, under the idea that it's flexible or educational efficiency has been good for us? I mean, we're going to be dealing with, in Florida, we're going to be dealing with Senate Bill 166. And it just wants to revise the requirements to attain a high school diploma. Any of you guys remember when we had the conversation, when there was a conversation and they were saying homework is not necessary? There is not a study that shows that homework is necessary. Mind you, these are adults that came from a history or a period in time where they did homework. And now they're saying we don't need to push this on our children to do the same thing that got us where we are, to be able to tell you what you don't need. I'm talking standardized test changes. Hey, let's change the way we do standardized tests and accountability waivers. Let's change our graduation requirements. Let's change our third grade reading laws. Let's change our teacher certification and licensing requirements. These lower, everything that I'm listing lowers the standards that it takes to do it. Not increase the standard, it lowers it. And they say that this conversation is subjective. Subjective meaning, well, you see it this way, but I can also see it this way. Even some charter school policies. The expansion of charter schools in some states has been accompanied by reduced oversight and accountability measures, which some argues lowers educational standards for students in those schools. Come on for just a second. Bear with me on this one. When has knowing less been better? When has not knowing the most you can been better? Guys, we have categories for information. For individuals to make decisions, they can categorize information to levels where other people can't know. That's how important it is to know information. And in our children and in our upbringing, we have been known across all the states to do things that lower education. What is convincing our citizens that lowering standards will create a better outcome? You can look at other countries. You say, man, China's living in a whole nother era because of the technological advancements. They don't lower their standards of education. I understand that pushing children, including myself, I don't know if, yes, I do. Yes, I do know. All of us, unless you're a genius, have had something that we had to learn that was difficult for us to learn, difficult for you to understand, needed some extra pushing and some extra guidance. And if you were a child, and all of us have been children, you probably cried about it because it was hard. But when you learned it, if you did, it was beneficial. When did not knowing become so convincing that, hey, it's better not to know, it's better not to be a part? I'm spending my entire campaign trying to convince citizens that having a seat at the table, having a vote with every piece of legislation that gets passed is healthy. And that's difficult. That's difficult. That is a difficult stance. What is convincing citizens that when you pay your tax money, when you put your tax money out, that programs that would use your tax money to help you are not good for you? What is creating that thought process that, hey, we should use our taxpayer tax money for taxpayers? Why should we not do that? Why, when we hear about it, are there more programs that help taxpayers getting cut, but they never tell you where the money is going? What's making this a convincing argument for the majority of citizens? Now, we know in Florida, we know that Senate Bill 166 is going to be voted on by a couple of people. We know this already because we live in a Democratic Republic. Exactly. So we know what's going on. We know House Bill 1205. We know how that's going to go. We know House Bill 541. 1205 again is 1205 is the bill that you have to pay to bring up an issue. House Bill 541 is where they can re-establish your job so they don't have to pay you the $15 an hour because they can recategorize your job as something else. We know that a small minority are going to vote on that, the yay or the nay. We know that there have been amendments that have been pushed down in Florida that have been already voted out to give some safeguards for citizens. We already understand this. And I'm trying to convince you that if you had an opportunity to keep your $15 an hour and not have anyone get a chance to give that up. Because you know what? Every time we pass, who even thinks about bringing up these laws that say, hey, let's make it easier to get this degree? Doesn't it automatically reduce the value if you have to lower the standards under the guise of educational efficiency? If it worked and was working for everyone before you, why break it? What would be the purpose? This is why I talk about the who, what, when, where, why, and how, and start questioning what's going on, because I don't know what's convincing citizens of this country. I don't know what's convincing citizens of this country that using the things that work or that are beneficial to you are bad. I don't know why that is convincing. I don't know what it's going to take to get you to actually consider that you don't have a seat at the table, that your voice only goes as far as the ballot box. I don't know why that's difficult, but apparently it is, because the feedback says that it is. Now, I don't really get into maybe the algorithm's not pushing out your information. Who knows? But I will say this. We had better get a hold of how we want our futures to be, and not just ours, but our children as well. Because laws that come out that disguise themselves as educational efficiency, like Senate Bill 166, it reduces the standard. And when you reduce the standard, you lower the quality. We don't want to lower the quality. So we want to either maintain the standard or bring the standard up. We cannot. Why are we trying to set the lowest baselines educationally possible? I understand. And if we're going to keep blaming it on COVID, that's just not true. It's just not COVID. COVID didn't start this. It was a byproduct. It did even exacerbate the issue, but it was not the initiate. There is a group of people that do not want citizens to be educated. And what would be the purpose of not wanting citizens to be educated? It's like I've always said, propaganda works best on those individuals who are not educated and underinformed. When you are informed, you can make an educated response. I'm asking you to figure out how you're being convinced that lowering the standard is better for you. It is not. I'm telling you it's not. But who's convincing? And if you're following me, you're probably not who I'm talking to. more than likely, again, if you made it this far in the video, you're probably not who I'm referencing. But you need to really consider that, hey, why are we messing with those standards? What's going on? The reason we need to lower those standards. What's happening? Because as soon as they lower those standards, numbers are going to go up and they're going to say, hey, look at us. We're graduating all of these people because we lowered the standard. So we're not getting quality citizens. Let's just call it what it is. Let's be honest. We are not producing quality. And we've been lowering those standards for quite some time. We have got to set a bar that we know is up there and ask everyone to come and meet it and exceed it. I want to set that bar. I want to increase that standard. But I need to know, why are you convinced that everything needs to be easy? Why are we convinced that our taxpayer money should not work for us? Why are we convinced that the individuals who work for us, that are in Tallahassee, that we vote in, don't have to work for you once they get your vote? Why did we never fix that? What's convincing us? Have a great day.